Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I'm going live a couple different places. So I'm just going to work these next couple of seconds on being live on those places. YouTube goes off always without a hitch. And then there's Instagram that always doesn't go off without a hitch. So I'm assuming I am not live on Instagram right now. I am trying to go live. It's not happening. I've got to start again. Hold on. Hey, everybody on YouTube. Welcome. Today I'm going to talk about what happens. Got to write it out again because Instagram logged me off. What happens when spirit shows up in human form? What happens when spirit shows, hang on there, YouTube, shows up in human form? Because it happened to me. All right, I'm going live. We're going to try one more time. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Hello, everybody on Instagram and YouTube. Hope you had a great weekend. It is Monday morning at some point. No, it's the afternoon. I just checked the clock. It is Monday afternoon, and we are going to talk today. I'm going to talk today. If you have any questions, I would love it if you put some down in the comments or the chat. I'm going to tell you about the first experience I had with spirit. They showed up. He showed up in physical form, showed up in physical form, as real as a human would be if someone were sitting next to me. Why do I tell these stories? I tell these stories because when these things first happened to me, I tried Googling them. I Googled spirit just showed up as a human being in my bed beside me, not in the weird, creepy way. And I couldn't find anything. So I share these stories now. Number one, it's more prevalent on YouTube and things like that, because this was almost 10 years ago, back in 2012. We are getting close to 10 years. And I tell these stories because I was 50 when spirit first made its presence known, their presence known to me. 50. So you don't know if you're saying to yourself, oh, this can never happen to me. What's happening to Donna and all these other mediums out there, that's not going to happen to me. You can't say that anymore. I didn't know that this would happen to me when it happened to me. I wasn't saying to myself, I want to become a medium now. I think I'll become a medium. I think I'll just start asking spirit to appear. I wasn't doing that. It just happened. I was ready for it clearly. All right, how did it start? I was living in Virginia. I had been there a good almost 3 years, 2009. The end of 2009, I moved there. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining. 2009, and this was 10, 11, 12. This was the beginning of 2012. This was March of 2012 that this happened. Prior to this happening, prior to spirit appearing in physical form to me, I had gone to see a medium, Reverend Hoyt Robinette, with my cousin. She knew somebody who knew somebody, and we got into a couple of his spirit card circles. I'm going to talk about physical manifestation, precipitation, mediumship in another video, live video that I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about that at a later time. So when this happened to me, I had known a couple of my spirit guides. I had known Anne Frank was one of my spirit guides. I had known Blue Cloud was my protector guide. Chief Cochise was my master teacher. I had known this because they were on the back of these spirit cards that I received from Reverend Hoyt. But still at this time, I wasn't saying, oh yeah, I'm going to talk to these guys. I'm going to start doing readings. None of that was happening to me before this moment. So it's probably late 2011, at least 6 months before this was happening. My mother and my brother were telling me about someone named Abraham Hicks, that I had to really listen to a couple of her videos, and they were sending me links. But in that time, I was busy. I was working a couple of jobs. I had to make money to survive. I was having a great time, but I was too busy, and I was actually telling spirit telling my mother and my brother I didn't have time. Looking back, I was telling Spirit that I didn't have time. That's exactly what I was saying. So I'm telling my mother and my brother, I hear you telling me about this Abraham Hicks person. Don't know what you're talking about. I just don't have time. And they were sending me links to this person, event. I don't know what it was because I didn't know at that time. They were sending me links to, okay, here are some of those videos you have to watch. Because my mother had known I was doing these readings, doing these events with Reverend Hoyt and getting my spirit guides. Asia, I see you asked a question. How did you make connection with your spirit guides? I'm going to answer that toward the end. Thank you for asking. So hello to everybody joining. I'm doing 2 events here, YouTube and Instagram, talking about how spirit first appeared to me in human form. Okay, so one day in March 2012 was supposed to be a big year, right? One day I'm sitting in my bedroom on my bed and I'm watching on my computer. It had to be my first or my second video of Abraham Hicks. I was watching Esther speak to Abraham. And yeah, it was good. There was definitely some good stuff coming out of her mouth from Abraham. While I'm watching that, a male, older, well-dressed gentleman appeared to me. Physical form. If I reached out, I didn't, but if I reached out, I don't know what would have happened. But he was as clear to me as if he was my friend, my daughter, my mother, sitting right next to me, right there. So I pause my video, I turn to look, and I carry on a conversation. The first thing I ask is, who are you? And this is pretty cool. I wasn't freaked out, just as the couple of other experiences I had had prior to this. One was, well, really the only time before this was when I was shot up in my yoga studio. I wasn't freaked out, but I kept insisting on him telling me, who are you? I also said to myself, great. Older man, well-dressed, attractive, and unavailable. My type of guy. Boom. That was funny. So I'm asking him, who are you? And he's pointing to my computer to a point on the video of Abraham Hicks and telling me to click the link. I said, yeah, but who are you? I know who I'm watching. Who are you? Because I knew nothing about Abraham Hicks except for the video I was watching at this time. He's insistent. Donna, he's calling me by my name. Donna, click the link. I just wanted to know who he was. And I kept asking, who are you? Who are you? Donna, click the link. And he would point to a link on the video. I said, okay. This was after a back and forth of who are you? That was all that was coming out. Hey, Nat, that was all that was coming out of my mouth. Who are you? And his response was click the link. Again, I'll state it. He was in human form. I knew he wasn't really there. I knew he was spirit. He was in human form. I clicked the link that he was pointing to on my computer, and it took me to a page with a picture of Jerry and Esther Hicks. Jerry was her husband, Esther's husband. I looked at that picture, and he was the gentleman who was sitting beside me. So I turned to look at him and I said, hey, that's you. And in that moment, he disappeared. So here I am sitting there, looking at a picture of the spirit that just appeared in my bed. I had no idea that if he was dead or not, crossed or not, I had no idea. But who did I call first? I called my mother. Mom, is Jerry Hicks? I'm watching Esther. I'm watching Abraham. Is Jerry Hicks gone? Is he passed? Is he dead? She says, I don't know. Why? Because he just appeared to me in my bedroom. She said, what? I said, Jerry Hicks was here, and I told her the story. Her response was, oh, Donna, honey, I've got a lot of people down here who would like a reading with a medium. Oh, As soon as you do that, let me know. And I'm like, Mom, I just started seeing spirit. I have no idea I don't want to be a medium. I have no idea why this is happening. But truest form to my mother, she's one of my biggest supporters. She's gone now, passed unexpectedly last year. But truest form, she was the one saying, you're going to be a medium. Okay, so I hang up with her. What does Donna do now? What does Donna do? A spirit just appeared to her in human form. Donna had no excuses now. She had to look at what's going to happen now. She had to start Googling, is Jerry Hicks dead? I had to look far down into the deep webs, into the deep interwebs. I had to look to see if he was gone. It took me a bit, but yes, I found out he had passed November of the previous year. So this was 4 months after he had appeared to me. After he crossed, he appears to me. Now, Donna, as a medium in 2021, knows that it takes a lot for a soul to appear from the non-physical world in my head. So I can only imagine how challenging that might have been for Jerry 4 months into the non-physical world to show himself as a human person, as a human. Yes, Natalie, my mother's response was awesome. And yes, Asia, I was cool. And I know how difficult, but for me, this was all my life. This is what's been happening. I was like primed for this. So to Donna, it was just like talking to you, if I were talking to you. So what did I do? Hey, Mina. Hey, Christine. Thanks for joining. What did I do? I made an appointment with a well-known medium in that area, but that wasn't going to be until July. So I had April, May, and June, and a good chunk of July to sit with what the freak, Jerry Hicks just appeared to me. Asia saying, maybe you weren't paying attention before. I had a lot of other things going on. It wasn't that I wasn't paying attention. I had a lot of other things going on. And as I gently am saying, I found out later that I could see spirit as a child, and it was just shut down. So I'm going to tell that story at a later time. And I'm going to tell at a later time what happened to me after Jerry appeared. But why did he appear in human form? That's the real question. At that time, I didn't know. But later on, I surmised that he had to get my attention. He had to get my attention in a way that I wouldn't poo-poo it away. If he had just appeared in my head or appeared as a see-through spirit, this was my first time. I most definitely probably would have swept that under the rug, not said anything, just took it as my imagination. It's a good lesson here, to leave no room for doubt. So Asia, in a way, they did it so I would pay attention specifically. He really, yes, Natalie, he really came through. Hey, Rhonda, thanks for joining. He really came through for me, literally and figuratively. So what was Jerry to me? That's for another story. Again, why I tell these stories is so that you can say to yourself, it's possible. I was 50 before this happened. 50. And there were a lot of people after that said, who do you think you are becoming a medium after the age of 50? I did a lot of work before 50, and I did a lot of work after that, after Jerry appeared. I did a lot of work to get myself ready to become a medium, full-fledged medium. So that's what I do now. I am a full-fledged medium. I call myself a direct messenger for spirit because I think medium is old school, old paradigm. So I waited until spirit sent me a new title, and that was a direct messenger for spirit. During a reading, I talked directly to spirit. Everything I see, hear, sense, feel from spirit, I interpret that image. If you're looking for a reading, you can email me at dboylemedium or send me something on the chat and we will chat, dboylemedium@gmail.com. And I'll thank you again for joining me live, everybody on YouTube and everybody on Instagram. I thank you so much. Let's go back to Asia had a question, how I connect with my spirit guides. Back then, before I understood anything, I would just sit in meditation. I knew my spirit guides. I had a visual image of my spirit guides. So I just closed my eyes and put that image in my head. And then I saw what they could do. Because this video is about what spirit can do. I had to be ready for it, but this really is about what spirit can do and what they did to get my attention to say to me, Donna, we need something from you. We want you to do ... And then I had to work really hard. Like I said, I went to other medium, this one specific medium. I did a lot of meditating with my spirit guides. Jerry did some interesting things prior to me seeing that medium in July. He was very insistent about the work that I do. And I was listening at that time. So I had to leave Vermont. I had to leave the guy I thought I was meant to be with in order for a lot of this to happen. So again, why I share these is so that when that happens to you, when something happens, don't be surprised when you're surprised. Go with it. I never knew it. You may not know it now, but when it happened, I certainly knew it. And I was ready. Tell spirit, I am ready. Tell spirit, this is my time. I'll be ready. And live your moments, live everything. And yes, Natalie, it was amazing. And it was Jerry. Who would have thunk it? That I didn't know who this spirit was, but yet he's telling me. So what did he do? He kept telling me, Donna, click the link in response to, who are you? He didn't want to tell me. He wanted to show me. So when he said, click the link, there was his face. There he was who he was. I said, but now he was gone. I would have said more had I known, but I didn't. I had to wait till later. So I'm going to sign off here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Jude, thank you. All my new friends, thank you so much for joining. And follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. There'll be more. Take care, everybody. Natalie saying, I loved every reading with you. Yeah, Natalie, I've enjoyed your friendship from the beginning. Thank you. You're welcome, everybody. Thank you so much. All right, I'm ending my stream now, doing this with everybody. Bye-bye.